today we are going to learn the fundamentals of remote sensing. So basically, you all will be aware about the satellite images which are widely used nowadays, and you can hear the same on the news as well, which are used in some of the disasters management as well. So how the floods are coming, how much area has been demolished in it. So likewise, and also in the, we can say, the defense. So basically, these are the contents which are going to be covered in today's webinar. And lastly, we will have an hands-on on how to download the data and how we can interpret the satellite images. So firstly, we will see what is remote sensing. Now, since our birth, we hear through our ears in the form of different sounds, like say the sound of the birds or the sound of different vehicles, and likewise. And also we see through our eyes in the form of light. So how we can differentiate different things in the form of light, like this is the road, or these are the mountains, or these are the trees. So basically, without touching or without having any physical contact, we can we can identify the different objects. So basically, the energy associated with hearing is the sound, and seeing is the light, without coming in the contact with the object being sensed. So basically, we have two sensors, which are eyes and ears, through which we sense different things. So the remote sensing is the same. Remote sensing is the science of acquiring information about an occurrence without being in physical contact with it. So without any physical contact on the Earth's surface, we acquire information of the objects which are present on the Earth. And nowadays, India has launched a MOM mission, which is a Mars orbiter mission. So now we can have the satellite image of different we can say extraterrestrial objects, and one of them is the Mars. And the remote sensing basically deals with detecting and measuring occurrences with devices sensitive to electromagnetic energy. So the main uh, energy which is focused on the remote sensing is the electromagnetic energy. So what is the electromagnetic energy? So electromagnetic energy travels through waves and spans a broad spectrum from very long radio waves to very short gamma rays. Only a small portion of this spectrum, called visible light, which is detected by the human eye. So only a small spectrum is being used by our eyes to see, or we can say differentiate different things. And the other things which are with other, we can say the spectrum used are the radio and X-ray machine, which uses different spectrum to detect different things, which are basically used in majorly radio is used in the telecommunication, and X-ray is used for the, we can say, the in the field of medical. And also we can say the in the telecommunication, which is one of these, the internet. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum, which is from 10 raised to 3 meter to 10 raised to minus 12 meter. So there are different waves which are being produced from different we can say objects, and the radio waves brings the sound which are through the radio, and the microwave radiation is used for cooking your favorite popcorns, you can say. The next is the infrared for night vision goggles, which are used in the defense, and which are also on board on the satellite. And lastly is the visible, which is detected by our eyes. And the others are the X-rays and ultraviolet, which is used in different other fields. Now, what is the principle that governs the remote sensing? Now we will understand it with our body, which is we can say depicting in the same way, like the various steps used for the visual for the perception of object, which is the ripe mango. Now how we can identify that this is a ripe mango? Now the one of the sensor which the human body has, which is the eye. So eye is an optical sensor which sees the characteristics of color from certain process in the fruit. Next is the head. There is some information priorly fitted in the head. So from the, we can say, from the birth of our, this is the mango, this is the pineapple, this is the other fruits and other vegetables which we, from the birth we are being uh, given some idea about it. So the head is the platform on which the sensor is placed and the information is stored, which knowledge or experience about the ripe mango. Now the nervous system carries the information to the brain, which acts as the interpreter for the identification of the object. Now by comparing this data with the information stored in our brain, and if it matches, it is concluded that the mango is ripe. But what about the sweetness? So the sweetness will be conducted by eating, which is known as the on-site measurement. Now the satellite gives the information of the Earth surface, but the true or the accuracy of which the data which is has been collected through the satellite sensor, we have to check it with the on-site measurement. So we have to take out a survey of the area of which we have collected the satellite images. Now there are two types of remote sensing. One is the passive remote sensing and the another is the active remote sensing. Now firstly, what is passive remote sensing? The observation based on the electromagnetic radiation from the sun or the self-emitted radiance is called the passive remote sensing. So basically the sun reflects the light on the surface of the earth, and after that the objects itself emits the radiation, which is called the passive remote sensing. Next is the active remote sensing. So what is basically the active remote sensing? The object is stimulated by the electromagnetic radiation produced, and the interacted energy of this radiation is studied by the scattered radiation from the target is called the active radiation. Now active radiation, we have an example is the synthetic aperture radar, which is one type of sensor used for the active remote sensing. And for the passive remote sensing, there are many satellites which mainly use the passive remote sensing for the collection of the satellite images and the earth surface data. So mostly the passive remote sensing is used. Now what is a signature? Basically the property which allows identification of an object is called signature. Now how we understand that there is a road or a mountain or a building? How we differentiate? We differentiate it through their signature. Like the building is in a rectangle shape, the roads are flat, the mountains are having some of height. So likewise the river water body is having its own signature. So likewise we differentiate it in different ways. So any set of observable character which directly or indirectly leads to identification of an object. Like I said, the identification of an object is called, and its condition is also called signature. Now there are four major characteristics that target the discrimination. The first one is the spectral, second one is the spatial, third is the temporal, and last one is the polarization. So the characteristics of the signature first is the spectral variation. Now what is this spectral variation? These are the changes in the reflectance or emittance of the object as a function of wavelength, like the color of a ripe mango. Now each and every surface on the earth reflects the color and some specific reflectance wavelength. So the roads are reflected in a different, so buildings are reflected in a different way, and the water bodies and all other features are reflect some sort of a wavelength, and we can differentiate it through the color which we can see in the spectral variation. Next is this spatial variation, and spatial variation are the arrangements of the object featuring provide attributes such as shape, size, and texture. So the first one, spectral, gives the change in the colors. of the different objects, and the spatial gives the size, shape, and texture. So the mountains have a different texture, building have a different texture, road have different structure, and we can say water body, which are the major parts of the satellite images which are captured, depicts different spatial variations. Example, here we have example of the oval shape, smooth structure of a ripe mango. Next is this temporal variation. The temporal variation are the changes in the reflectivity or emissivity with time. So basically, with time, how the we can say the urban sprawl has changed, like the urban area has increased, like some cities having like back 10 years back, the city area might we can say 10 kilometers square, but after 10 years it might be up to 23 or say 25 square kilometer area. So likewise, there are different temporal variations depicted. Here we have taken the example of a green mango which changes color with time to form into a ripe mango. Now, the remotely sensed data acquired over the same area at different times can make use of the temporal characteristic discriminate in a better way. So we can have the different temporal variations also. Now, what is polarization variations? The polarization are the changes related to the polarization radiation reflected and emitted by an object, and the degree of polarization is a characteristic of the object and very useful in microwave region. Like the radiations are reflected from the object, but there are we can say some atmospheric we can say there are clouds, there is dust, and there is different object which might affect the we can say capturization or the reflectance of the satellite image. So this is also considered in it, which is the polarization variation. And now, types of resolution of satellite images. There are four types. First is the spatial resolution, second is the radiometric resolution, third is the spectral resolution, and fourth is the temporal resolution. So what is the spatial resolution? Now, spatial resolution depicts to the we can say clarity of the image. Now we can here see there is one is the low spatial resolution and second is the high spatial resolution. In first image, it does not show any particular object or any particular region clearly. There are clouds also in there, so we cannot see, we can only see the roads and some grass fields, but we cannot depict the buildings and all. But in the second image, we can clearly see the roads, the buildings, the we can say agriculture fields and all. So if there is a low spatial resolution image, we can not depict many information from it. But if there is a high resolution image, we can depict more resolution. We can take our daily example like our mobile phones camera. The difference between the 8 megapixel and nowadays there are 108 120 megapixel cameras available, so we can clearly see the difference in the photos clicked in the different cameras. It is the same, which is the spatial resolution. Different satellite images, different spatial resolution. We will have one of the practical like the on hands on the software at the end. Next is the radiometric resolution, which refers to the number of digital levels used to express the data collected by the sensor. The greater the number of levels, the greater is the detail in the information, which is basically the difference in the colors which are sensed by the sensor on the satellite. So basically here we can see the 16 bits, 16 value 4-bit image differentiate more colors than the 2 values 1-bit information. 2 values 1-bit information gives only black and white, but as we increases the bits, the differentiation is get much higher. The next is the spectral resolution. Spectral resolution refers to the ability of a sensor to define fine wavelength intervals. Finer the spectral resolution, narrower the wavelength range for a particular channel band, the higher will be the spectral resolution. So more the wavelength, more good is the spectral resolution data. So here we have one example. If there are different bands coming in the satellite image, like say from one band, which we call a panchromatic band, to 8 bands, which we call a multispectral uh, image, satellite image, to 15 200 bands, which we call a hyperspectral image. So here we have an example. If there is a one band from 0.4 to 0.7 micrometer, we will have a black and white image. And if we have three bands, that is the 0.4 to 0.5, 0.5 to 0.6, and 0.6 to 0.7. If we have three bands, we will be having a colorful image, which we also see an example of it at the end. Now is the temporal resolution. Temporal resolution is the time needed to revisit and acquire data for the exact same location. Now there are some satellites which acquire data at different intervals of time of the same location, which is when applied to remote sensing. This amount of time depends on the orbital characteristics of the sensor platform as well as the sensor characteristics. This temporal data is used for to know the urban sprawl, also at the time of disaster or at the time of the some of the defense applications. Here we have one example of the Las Vegas from time interval from 1973 to 2006. Here we can see the urban sprawl of the Las Vegas. In the first image, the a city area is much smaller. In 1991, it has grown. 2000, it has grown not much to much extent, but some. In 2006, it has grown much more higher. So here we can see how the urban sprawl has been done. Yeah, accordingly we can do the planning of the city, and also it will be useful in planning of roads, waters, and different other infrastructure facilities. So this is how temporal resolution data might be useful. Now there are different types of satellite orbits. First one is the geostationary orbit, which rotates around 36,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface, and it rotates equal to the period of one Earth's revolution. So it is kept at the equatorial plane at that height is called a geostationary orbit, which appears constant with respect to Earth. And this satellite view constantly same part of the Earth, and it is used to derive information for meteorological parameters and telecommunication. So it is used widely for the telecommunication purpose, and it only sees one part of the Earth all the time. And here we can see there is an image shown which shows it is near to the equator and only depicts only one part of the Earth. The next is the sun synchronous orbit, which nears orbit nearly around 100 kilometer to 1000 kilometers, and all the points at a given latitude will have the same local mean time, which provides near identical solar illumination. The count rates of this orbit can be made to reoccur over exactly at interval of a fixed number of days by maintaining the height and inclination of the orbit to close tolerance. The sun synchronous orbit satellite are widely used for remote sensing purpose because it gives the temporal data and also covers mostly the every part of the Earth. So sun synchronous are most widely used. Here is the sun synchronous orbit. How the satellite tracks the orbit it is opposite to the orbit of the Earth from the north to south. So it covers every part of the Earth at different time intervals according to different satellites and different areas. Now we can say remote sensing is a very vast field. Remote sensing provides, as we have seen, timely and repetitive information on the phenomenon happening on the earth and its environment. The worldwide economic and social development can be managed effectively, efficiently by minimizing adverse impact on the earth resources, environment, and climate. Like nowadays we have the internet, so from we can work in this pandemic. We have seen everybody is working from their home or from their native place, so which is through the internet. So the remote sensing is the same. So without having any physical contact or going to that place, we can have the information about that area or the object, and we can have some studies on it, which will be very cost effective. And nowadays it is widely used in city planning, disaster management, and there is one more thing in the satellite images, which we call is as a DEM. DEM we call is as a digital elevation model, which is used for 3D views of 3D surface of the, we can say, the earth. So we also have the earth surface elevation model, which is used for the dams or the many other regions, to how to make the roads in the mountain areas, and also which is also very useful in there. Then the remote sensing is we can say GIS is also used in telecommunication and also in oil and natural gas for the tracking of the pipelines and all. So there is a vast application of the remote sensing. So lastly, here we will see how to download the data and how to interpret the satellite image. Now there are many, we can say, portals available, but here I have listed two. First one is the Bhuvan portal, which is the Indian satellite download data portal, in which we can download the freely available satellite images of the Indian sensors. And the second is the USGS portal, which from there we can download many other US and other European satellite images on it. So now we will see how to download the satellite data online and how we can interpret it with the softwares available. The softwares available are AirDAS, which are widely used are in AirDAS imaging, ENVI, ArcGIS, and QGIS. So firstly, we will see how to download the data from the online portals available.